Hi, today we'll be going through our second milestone for DevOps class. This milestone contains two parts. For first part, we'll be setting up Jenkins shop to build checkbox.io and do some static analysis on the code. The second part focuses on setting up Jenkins shop for iTrust. So let's get started. First, let's check whether SSH works or not. As we can see, we can SSH to the Jenkins server node. Now let's start the playbook, which would set up the Jenkins server, install Jenkins and other relevant libraries, and set up jobs for both checkbox.io and iTrust. The Ansible playbook has executed all the tasks. Now let's head over to the Jenkins server and see whether the jobs have been created or not. As you can see, the Jenkins job for both checkbox and iTrust have been created. Now let's schedule a build for checkbox.io. As you can see, the build has failed. And the reason for the failure is function loadj templates. It has 8 sync calls. As per the requirements, if the number of sync calls is more than 1, the build should fail. And it has failed at markdown.js file.
Hi, so now we will be showing off our iTrust code. So this will fuzz the code and then it will be running the builds on Jenkins. So prior to this, you've seen we ran our main.yml. We've run it again here and we have Jenkins set up. There are no builds run on anything. Here we're about to run our Ansible playbook, run fuzzer, which will run the fuzzer and it will create 100 jobs on iTrust each time with new fuzzed code, and it will run the tests. And on the 100th job, it'll run the useless test detector, which will then determine how many tests were useless. So now if I run Ansible playbook, we'll see the jobs are now in the build queue, and it is running a job. So if we go and view that job, we'll see it's now installing all the Maven dependencies, and after this, we'll start running the tests. Now it's compiling the classes. And now it is generating the database and the test data for the database, after which it'll start running the tests. And now the tests will begin running. these tests have always been failing. So we'll just continue on. All right, so now while these tests run and the rest of the 100 builds run, I'll pause the video, and once the 100 builds are completed, we will show you our use this test output. Just a quick one more time, we'll show you that the other builds have been queued up. See, up to 31 now have been queued up. All right, so we'll be back once the rest of the 100 builds are completed. So now we are on our 99th build, and the test suite is just about to run. So we'll run this build and the 100th build, and then after that, we'll run the use this test generator to see how many use this tests we have. So now we'll see that the 99th build is finished, and now we'll go to the 100th build, which should be in the process of building. Yep. So we'll see here that the 100th build ran, and now we'll go and show the useless test detector running, and we'll see how many useless tests we have. So now we will run our useless test detector called uselessdetector.js. It will create a report called useless test report, which will show our number of useless tests we found and list all the tests which were considered useless. So we'll run the report, the node.js file now. It's just some console logs we have. So now if we ls, we'll see a useless test report just generated. So if we head -10 for the top of it, report, we'll see number of useless tests 586 and total tests were 1164. So we discovered after 100 builds 586 tests that were useless, and then we continue to list all the tests that were useless here. Thank you, and that's the rest of our project.